are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Sir Lana.
Minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Sir Lana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations, I'm Spaceboy.
And I'm Sir Lana.
And this is Spaceboy Universe. It is August the 19th, 2017. And tonight we're going to be talking to Jim-amp-Jody-Bray of the Outer Rim. As always, follow us on Twitter. That's at the SB Universe. Follow the network to give you all this fine programming. That's at the SBU network. Did I just say that twice? Anyway, follow Solana at Solana and follow me. That's at Spaceboy Music. Remember to hashtag your tweets tonight with hashtag Spaceboy, hashtag SB Universe. And hashtag Space Cadets. When I hang out with, I try to make this as streamlined as possible, Sir Lana.
No, I'm just thinking you're very thinking about yourself tonight.
Well, how am I thinking about myself? Well, okay, we'll get it.
Kept saying
Let's save it for later here.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be a great night. Want to hang out with the Space Cadets that think I'm crazy? Yeah, you want to. Go to spaceboyuniverse.com and click on the dancing chat bubble, and that'll get you in with all the cool kids. In addition to Twitter, you can find the universe on Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and many more places. Speaking of YouTube, you can find more than the SBU archive of shows. That's right. There is video content from Spaceboy Music, SBU interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more. So go there, subscribe to the universe. Can't catch a show live? No problemo. Take the show on the go with you via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, even YouTube if you've got a YouTube Red account, because we love to broadcast. And on that magical note, how are you, Sir Lana?
Well, I apologize if I don't sound like I'm in the game. I think you and I have both had this issue where we have had a headache that will not go away. It seems like we've had it for 2 or 3 weeks, and we've been to doctors, we've had drugs, we've been to specialists, we've been to dentists, and nothing helps.
The thing is, I agree with you that I've been suffering from migraines on my left side, and finally went to a doctor, an ear, nose, and throat doctor about that, and apparently the inside of my nasal cavity is severely swollen and just irritated, and I don't know if that's the end alls, but I do know that I still feel like I got whiplash going to that doctor because originally I thought I was only going to be paying $45. The visit ended up being $90, plus in order for them to stick a camera up my nose, they charged me an extra $200 for that. So and then prescribed me a muscle relaxer and some antibiotics. So
well, hang on to that muscle relaxer. That could be enjoyable.
But the stuff that they gave me, and then I had a tooth extraction about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, is it?
Yeah, but nothing that's addressed the overall.
The tooth was broken and it needed to come out.
Well, yeah, that needed to come out. You showed me it, and I was like, oh my God, get that out of your head.
Mm-hmm. But gone to my internal medicine doctor. I've gone to the dentist. I've gone to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. And what gets me is, they pulled a lot of stuff out of my right ear, which the problems I seem to be having is my left side. He seems to think that I grind my teeth when I sleep.
The dentist could tell you that because we see her more often,
and I think that's a lie. I wished I had gone to Dr. Salamanca instead of going to.
Dr. when you recover financially, you could go to him.
I think I will go back because my internal medicine doctor is in the same building, and I'd rather do
They can talk to each other.
Yeah, exactly. One-stop shopping.
Yeah, I too have had some medical adventures. I'm on my way to getting not a CPAP, but an APAP machine. And if you don't know what that is, go Google it because I don't feel like talking about it. So, yeah. So, anyway.
I think it will be great when you're
It'll be great for you.
Yeah, when you're breathing normally.
Well, I kind of think that if I'm only getting 60-ish% oxygen when I'm in REM sleep, how do I not have brain damage?
You're still getting oxygen. I mean, it's not like you're like, working out or something and not getting the oxygen that your body needs because you're...
It's just creepy. And for like 3 or 4 nights after I came home with that knowledge, I was scared to go to sleep.
Well, I do know that we're on a path to recovery, so at some point...
It can't last forever, can it?
We'll get beyond this stuff, but let's talk about some other stuff. I mean, that's how, we've been doing, we don't want to sound like pity us.
No, but, I mean, it's not... we'll get past it.
You start to get to an age.
It can't be like crap forever.
So, what do you have on the first part?
Well, let's talk about the going chronological order here. Last weekend, as you know, if you were here listening to the universe, we had Reverend John Polk live in studio as an overnight guest here, making his journey from Florida to Arizona by way of all the routes in Texas and New Mexico. So we had fun with him, took all these pictures, got to hang out, and he laid down some audio tracks for you to do some new promo commercials and maybe make some new music with his voice. So that's going to be fun later on. And then he went on his journey to see some relatives. I don't know if he saw Gigi. I guess Gigi. Gigi's in our chat. We can confirm if he saw him.
He saw Gigi and his wonderful sister.
He better not have gone to the House of Pies. So.
Well, no, I think they went clubbing.
Yeah. And he's older than us. Clubbing. But so he went on his merry way. He made it to New Mexico and met up with Eric, also known as Awakening Man on Twitter. Eric, his right-hand man, he's the guy that gets the guests on the Quantum Hologram Matrix. So we've been talking to Eric. We've been guest hosting the Quantum Hologram Matrix until John can settle down over there. But they all met up in New Mexico, and we talked to them on the phone, and they called David Adair, or he called in, and we learned about something we had no idea even existed. Of course, we always kind of knew, like from the movies and whatnot, that there is the possibility that the whole idea of an EMP surge is real, that any major part of us could be taken out with an electromagnetic pulse that would take down our infrastructure, our facilities like water management, waste management, all of our telecommunications, anything electrical. And it wouldn't be a matter of days or weeks or months. It would be years to get it back up and running. And it's possible in that time many of us could die from lack of, like clean water and food and how it gets processed and gets to you or in shipping. So we learned about that, and so David Adair said he was on his way to Washington, D.C., and he was going to do a hunger strike to get the president's attention about what they could do to stop it. And there is a SHIELD Act calling to raise the shield and protect our electric grids, not only from someone else, but from something we really can't do anything about, coronal mass ejections from the sun. And I found an article that said we nearly died 3 times in 1 year from coronal mass ejections, and we got lucky because it nearly missed the Earth each time. So I'll put a link to that in, let's see, where did I put the Twitter? I'll put the link to that in our Twitter. I'm going to log out as me and log in as the universe if y'all want to read more. And it is really upsetting and disturbing. So if we don't take each other out, or someone doesn't take us out, the sun will take us out.
Well, I was going to bring out the fact that, the United States infrastructure has been needing to be updated and upgraded for some time now. And when I say some time, more than 10 years to bring, because there's technology that could be implemented that would definitely bring our infrastructure up. And, and it was interesting when we were talking to David Adair, about how these transformers, it just...
If one of these gets hit, these transformers, electricity goes out, what happens, he says there's oil in them to keep them cooled. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing that's the big round tank-looking thing on the side when you're looking at a power pole. So that will explode in hot oil like a bomb. I've seen a transformer not explode, but go, and it's a huge, loud pop, like when it overloads or something.
Yeah, when it shorts out.
But it didn't have the thing he's talking about on
right.
it.
But, we're talking about an EM pulse that would put in enough voltage that would turn those things into, like little mini bombs, it's interesting. David Adair himself is one of the most interesting people that we've talked to personally on our show, and
yes.
to get a chance to talk to him again, he's really fascinating. If you get a chance, take a listen to the most recent quantum hologram
matrix, where he calls in. It's more toward the end of the program if you're interested, but that whole show is kind of up until we talked to David. It's kind of amusing because we're back and forth with John and Eric, and they're both driving independently to meet up in a place in New Mexico, and they're within 30 minutes of each other. It's kind of funny to listen to, and we're trying to host and talk to all his people. So now I have put in the SBU Universe Twitter a link to David Adair's page that talks about the SHIELD Act. I've also put a link that talks about the EMP and the mass coronal ejection independently. So if you want to check those articles out, please do. And then David's site has about the SHIELD Act which congressman you can write to talk to you about it. And, write in. And it has a link to the actual, what does the HR stand for? The bill.
right.
The SHIELD Act bill, and more. He's also got links to more articles, and it is an important thing for you to learn about and to read about, and maybe even talk to your congressman about.
Yeah, most definitely. I think you had the congressman from Alaska. She was blocking this or trying to block it.
Yeah, he was talking about, she needs to be gotten out of the picture, so... Anyway, but it's very serious, and please go check that out when you can, and don't just read it. See if there's some way you can help take some action, and or if nothing else, spread the word, get it around to your fellow Americans if you can.
Mm-hmm. All right. Have you seen? I'm a big fan of Bob Ross. And in fact, I got a Funko Pop coming in September of Bob Ross. But Google has the Google AI Dream thing.
I've seen it. It's trippy. It's very psychedelic.
It is.
It's like the '60s in GIF form.
And I think somehow the video has already been ripped off the internet.
Really?
Where you can't find the video.
Why? What's wrong with it?
With some kind of rights thing, it happens.
Oh, whatever. But, it's the internet.
But it is trippy. I have posted at least a picture
saw it
on the Twitterverse wall, and you can check that out. And it's hard to describe. You just have to see it for yourself.
Well, if you've ever gone and saw the Google AI thing where they put this filter on an image or a video, and
you did it to me for when I was dressed up in the astronaut outfit at Comic Palooza, and not this year, but the previous year, where I'm sitting in the media lounge.
Yeah,
and it is pretty interesting because
it's
all the things they try to. It's all little dogs and stuff, but this one definitely had some. It's an acid trip to say the least. So yeah,
very enjoyable. But in closer to home news, there was this back and forth thing going on for a while about whether or not Texas would get our own bullet train, or as they're calling it, the Hyperloop. And when it was first talked about, and it was a Japanese company that had come over here to do talks and talk about feasibility and where they put it. And somebody, I can't remember who, if it was the state of Texas, or there were so many people who were in the path, like the private lands. They said, look, don't waste your time and money coming over here trying to do this because we don't want it. Now, I don't know who the we is in that, but here's how things are going now. This says Houston backs bullet train and inks a deal to help the progress of it. Now, what this would be, it would be strictly right now from Houston to Dallas, and you could get there in 90 minutes. And I am in favor of anything that will get you out of Dallas fast, because I don't like Dallas.
The thing is, no, we don't like Fort Worth.
No, Fort Worth is fine. They got a good museum there.
Rift tracks.
Well, that's a rift track. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
So
here.
Anyway, the thing is that with the bullet train, it opens up possibilities of working in Dallas and commuting to Houston and living in Houston. And when they get that whole thing set up, the closer city would be San Antonio. A bullet train to San Antonio.
Well, they're thinking eventually the triangle from Dallas, Houston, Austin.
Because theoretically, on a bullet train, you could get to San Antonio in about an hour.
Well, it'd probably be to Austin because that's the bigger city. But how far is Austin from San Antonio?
Let's back that up. Austin is not the bigger city in the sense of San
But it's
Antonio.
the capital.
It is the capital.
That's why they'd want to go there.
I know, but I'm saying that it would be. You made it sound like Austin is a bigger city.
No, it's bigger in importance, I think, for people having to go there. But I don't know when and if that would get done.
Well, I think that they're on track.
But for the part we're talking about, Houston to Dallas, is they're talking about the most likely Houston, Dallas, the line will end here south of US 290, which is just above where we live, west of the 610 loop. 610 is a circle, is an inner loop inside the smaller one, inside of the middle of Houston,
right?
But north of Interstate 10,
right?
So it would probably be east of us, but within easy drivable distance.
Right. I mean, that's if we're still.
So they're saying they suspect this is the current location of the Northwest Mall.
Okay.
So if you know where that is.
Yeah.
Does that mall even exist?
Yeah.
Okay. So it would run on its own tracks and it would be elevated where it needs to be elevated.
Isn't that where we went to go ride the go-karts?
Maybe.
A long time ago, but yeah.
You rode a go-kart. So they're expecting to start in early 2019, and it will take 4 to 5 years. I will probably be dead by then, so I'll never get to ride it. But it's there's an actual PDF on this particular page that talks about the legalese of it all. So that's interesting. So they're hoping this will, I guess, unite the two cities so we can get back and forth quicker. The only problem with this, and I can see K-28's problem with this, is it will not stop at Buc-ee's.
It's all right. He's got people here that can get him hooked up with Buc-ee's merchandise if need be. Besides, I think he was afraid to walk into the building anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what he thought was going to happen to him. But Austin, San Antonio is drivable. You're talking about, it's pretty quick. Like,
yeah, it's just down the road 35. So I mean,
so no matter where a track would end, if it was in Austin or San Antonio, you can still get to one or the other by car easily. So
oh yeah, very simple. But yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal. So You know, the eclipse is coming.
Yes.
And I'm old enough to remember, I guess it was back in 79. You know, people, even though the moon's going to cover up the sun, you still don't want to look at it.
No.
And, you know, one of the things you could probably do is get you a little box and put a little pinhole in it and see the reflection. You can also use binoculars in the sense of holding a pair of binoculars out, letting the sun come into the binoculars and looking at it on the ground. That's another option. Now, something I never thought of before, Solana, is that possibly using, welding, a welding shield where it has that thicked out. So I don't know if those would work or not, looking at the sun.
Or, alternatively, you can watch it online. Of course, NASA will have it. Or you could wait and go to YouTube and listen to Bonnie Tyler sing Total Eclipse of the Heart while she's on a cruise that's sailing around the world to get the best view of the eclipse, which will be Royal Caribbean's Total Eclipse Cruise, positioned for the optimal spot for the critical moment. And she was the natural choice, of course. And that song, believe it or not, has over 300 million views on YouTube, and she thinks she sings it better now than she did back in the 80s. So
I guess
it's a total eclipse of your heart.
Fart. What was I going to say until I distracted myself? You know, I guess you're still going to see something. In my head. If you're here in the North America continent and in the U.S., you're going to see some spots, even down in Houston, we'll see something. We'll get some partial obstruction from the moon, and so what I was going to get at is how crazy things are. I mean, first off, you got this eclipse thing happening, right? And you know who has me freaked out about Mercury? It's Patrick Spohr, friend of the show. Just to drop a name here.
Well,
real
quick. I put in my Facebook wall. I said if I could reach Mercury, I would punch it in its little planet face.
Because we're currently in
retrograde.
Yes, thank you. Mercury retrograde. Yeah, thank you. I had to think. It's time to add some more memory. I'm buffering bad. But going back to space, the U.S. Air Force is prepping that mysterious X-37B space plane again to launch back into space. It looks like a mini space shuttle.
Yeah.
And still nobody knows what it's all about, other than it's robotic and that it goes up there in space for an extended amount of time, and they have no idea what this thing is all about. So that is, supposed to be heading out, and no telling. Mm-hmm. So, and then of course, other space news is that starting to hear the rumblings of doomsday again, where people are talking about October could be the end of the world as we know it. And
yeah, I heard about that.
Once again, it's like this reoccurring theme of the Earth is going to get hit by something, or Planet X is coming into our solar system on a plane that's at a different parallel than we are with the sun, and coming in from the south. You tie that in with the conspiracy theories of Antarctica and why is everybody going down to Antarctica, and it makes you wonder. So, more doomsday coming our way. So October supposedly is the last month of the Earth's existence.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, maybe the black satellite, the Black Knight satellite could tell us some more.
Oh, yeah, the space blanket?
Yeah, well,
the sentient space blanket?
Why don't you tell us more about that?
There's this black satellite. They say it's been there for 13,000 years, orbiting the Earth. NASA says it's a space blanket. It's been the subject of many things. There's speculation that some astronauts have seen it. There's speculation that it's been on some ISIS footage. Not ISIS. International Space Station. What am I thinking about?
I thought I had it bad.
That type of thing. Pepsi did a stupid, weird-looking propaganda music video for it. Oh, that's still on YouTube or not.
Maybe.
I'm just, as you can tell, I'm really over it.
Okay. Well, then great.
I'm tired of it. If they don't know what it is, they won't go up there and get it or knock it down. Just whatever. Either let's get it and see what it is, or just leave it alone. I'm starting to sound like Carl Pilkington.
Okay. So what else you got on the docket?
1 second. There is okay. I'm sorry about that. There was a message that came up and I wanted to see. You want me to tell you what happened to me Wednesday at work?
Do we have a choice?
Not unless you've got some stuff.
Well, I do. But, go ahead.
Why don't you go ahead then?
No, I insist you go ahead.
Well, I work at a university, and it never really occurs to me that it's a place where I need to be paying attention. I just, because I've worked there for so long. See, it starts calling this number. What is that?
Are we still having that?
Yeah.
Because I tried to call that number earlier, and I get a message saying.
Anyway, our Skype is auto-dialing someone, and I don't know who it is.
Is it the 713-701 number that's dialing out?
Mm-hmm.
We probably might want to log that out and sign it out in the
I already did that 2 times.
Sign it out and then log into the other account. And this is live.
But nobody has that number.
We're going to use... You told them...
That number.
Okay, you should have told them the studio number.
Well, okay.
All right, it's fine. My concern is that we're going to have people... that thing's... I don't know what's going on with it. I had...
It's like it's got a bug or something.
See, these are conversations that we should have 2-3 hours before the show starts. Anyway, it looks like in technology that there is a race to cut the power cord, and it's really happening. And basically, you've probably seen, like in Stargate Universe, if you've ever seen the show, where they would put device, or there are even devices that you have that you can attach to your iPhone or Droid or whatever makes you happy, and place it on a stand without plugging it in.
Yes, wireless charging.
Mm-hmm. Well, they want to embed this into the technology to allow it to wireless charge by itself. So, that looks like that technology is coming down the pipe, and it won't be too long. In fact, I was looking at one picture, and it shows I guess a droid, and it's on top of a speaker. And so it's charging off the speaker apparatus, but still, since it's Bluetooth, you can channel your tunes through the speaker. What's going on over there? You know what?
Nothing.
It is the bottom of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. Let the IT guru get on top of this technical issue, and when we come back, hopefully we'll have our guest. But if not, we'll ramble on like 2 old folks at an old home, just trying to figure out if we're going to get Jell-O tonight with our pills. So on that magical note, and if I can find it, and here we go.
This is a test. This is a test. This is a test. Test, 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 test. This is a test to the SBU network. SBU network. This is a test. This is a test. This is a test. Test, 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 test. This is a test to the SBU network.
All right, so we finally got things rolling here, and who we have on the phone is Jim-Bray of the Outer Rim. So good evening, Jim. How are you?
Good evening, and I've got Jody with me here too. So.
Yes, I didn't hear her, but we're glad to have you both back. In fact, interesting fact, it's been a year since we spoke with y'all last.
It's been that long? Really?
Yes, it's been that long.
And so much has happened inside of a year, let me tell you.
Well,
that's why we need to talk to you.
Yeah, because, for the past, I think 6 months, I've talked to Sirlana. I said, we need to get Jim and Jody back on the phone and see what's going on because, between Star Trek and Star Trek Discovery and all the things that went down with Axanar and the new rules out there for Star Trek, and then plus, not to negate anything that's going on with your productions, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot to tell us about what's going on y'all's end, too. So where do we start this journey, Jim?
Well, gosh, where did we leave off last time? What was going on when we spoke last? And I can pick it up from there.
I think that you were working on the Outer Rim, and then plus, I think there was some mention there about...
Well, basically we talked about how the whole fallout from the fan films actually freed you in a way to get more creative and do more original content. So I'm looking at your site, and it looks like you've exploded with new productions.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff we're working on. We've got one episode now completely shot out, and it's in post-production. It's a show called Sweepers. And the episode is called Rift. And it's a story of a little scanning vessel that gets sent on like a mining survey vessel. And they're scanning a planet, and they get a call from a fleet ship from a commander named Cage. And she sends them on a mission to check an anomaly, and she warns them, if you guys get into trouble, get out of there. Well, of course, when someone says that, there's going to be trouble, and there is. And then they're in a real pickle, and we see how they get out of it. A space pickle, yeah.
First off, before we go any further, hello, Jody.
Hey, Jody.
Hello. Good to hear from you both.
It's good to hear from you, too.
Long time no hear.
Yes, that is true.
We're not going to wait a year to talk to you again, I promise you.
Well, we miss talking with you guys. It's always fun.
It's been an insane year for us. Like Jim says, we've got Sweepers is in the pike, and it's in the can and in post-production, and hopefully it'll be out. We're hoping before Christmas, first of the year.
I'm hoping, but people that volunteer their time, you're kind of on a wing and a prayer. It's in their spare time that they get things done. So
where are y'all
CGI
filming
guys
it?
Huh?
Where are you filming it? Sorry,
I'm sorry, what?
Where are you?
Well, I work with a theater that's local here, and
in an old opera built around turn of the 20th century in a little village about 10 miles from here called Enosburg. We filmed it at the Enosburg Opera House.
What we did was we built our set right on the
stage,
under the lighting grid, and we were able to build a beautiful set. And it's the interior of the Audrey, the mining survey vessel. And we had a bunch of people there, and we shot and had a blast. And we got some absolutely gorgeous footage and some incredible performances from everybody in the show. And we're really, really excited about how it's turned out. Now we're just waiting for all the CGI and effects work to get done.
Yep.
And we've also landed a couple people that are composers, and we're going to have some original music to go along with it. Spaceboy, I want to talk to you later.
Okay.
By the way, about
cool.
Music.
We were jamming on your tunes earlier.
Yeah, we like your music, man.
Even our son is rather picky. His head was bebopping up and down, so
he was like, "Hey, this stuff's cool.
Good.
Yeah, this is good. I like this."
Find out what you're playing.
Well, yes, I'll have to send you my latest album, and so you can download that.
I want to talk to you about music later.
Okay.
we'd love to include you in our motley crew.
Yeah.
So we got that shot out, and we're waiting on effects, and we're in pre-production now for the next show in the anthology called Challenger. And Challenger is their corporate fleet vessel.
Same story, de-Trekified.
Yeah, same story we were going to do before, but all the Trek has been removed, and we've
Been scrubbed of Trek.
Yeah, scrubbed of Trek completely. It's now. Well, the nice thing about that is we can take and make DVDs and Blu-rays and sell them, and make a little money that we can throw into them.
That's not our main reason for doing this. We're doing this for fun. Fun with a capital F.
Yeah,
Sounds a lot like
and we
us.
keep pushing that.
Not about me.
No, well, it's about making money to make more productions, to make more money to make more productions.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
But we're not in it to make, coffee.
Well, we don't.
Like that.
No, we're not going to be selling coffee.
Although that would be really cool because I really like coffee.
Or yeah,
Coffee's good.
yeah, Captain K Dark Blend.
If we lived closer, I'd love to volunteer and help out, but
Don't know. Jody does play Captain Cage, and she's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And she's the one
You're
that
not biased at all.
not at all. But she's the one that sends the crew on their mission, and her little piece of a story that you get in Sweepers dovetails into Challenger very nicely. So one thing slides right into another, and we're hoping to do that kind of thing with every one of the episodes we do, where one thing crosses over to the other and then crosses back again. It's a nice, tidy little universe, and there's a lot going on in it. And it's a Weyland-Yutani alien kind of universe, sort of Starship Troopers-ish. The ships are big and weaponized, very, very corporate and militaristic. The corporations run the government. It's that sort of a universe.
Yeah, cross it with like RoboCop and what is it? The OPC?
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Well, now we have.
Well, I would buy that for $1.
We have what's called the Unified Worlds Consortium.
Slow down. Just trying to spit it all out.
I know.
Settle down.
I'm excited.
Calm
I can't help it.
Let them talk.
Okay, go ahead. I'm very.
it's like listening to us.
It is. I think that's why we had such a good time talking to y'all last time, and is because of the parallels between both you and Jody. And
See, my sister is in our Spreaker chat, our live chat, and she says, "Oh my God, these two are your doppelgangers."
It's too bad you live so darn far away. We'd have you over for barbecue.
Oh man!
Well, you should come to Houston because Houston is where space flight is. So it would be only fitting that you have a pilgrimage down here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we lived not far away from Kennedy Space Center down in Florida, so we got to go there frequently. That was pretty darn cool too. So, but yeah, I'd love to go out to Houston.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
They should come to Maker Faire and meet us in person.
Yeah. Can we get at your table?
Can I get your autograph? Because it's really cool. Oh my God, it's really space. I want to get a full pop. Do I have to pay an extra $100? Because that wasn't included in the price of the ticket. Let's pay extra for that.
So getting backtrack to the content that you have available, I saw, I guess, a video about Sweepers, and I was fascinated by it. It looks like it's going to be a pretty cool and nifty looking. I guess, are you still doing the anthology like you were talking about, Jim, last time when you were with the universe?
That's the plan. We've had some things around. We've had some restructuring of management, as it were.
That's an understatement.
And but it's all to the good. Okay, it's all to the good. And I'm trying like crazy to be a glasses half full kind of guy. Whether it's full or empty, at least there's something in it. That's how I look at it.
Depends on what is that. Is it water or vodka? We don't know.
Well, as long as it's not weed, not a glass full of weed. I don't like weed. Oui, monsieur. So yeah, so we're in pre-production for this episode. It's going to be really actiony, lots of fun, a really good story. Captain Cage is going through a serious bout of PTSD, and that's what the story is all about. We want to kind of explore PTSD, kind of get the message out there a little bit about PTSD, because it's not funny at all.
No, not
and
at all.
I get it. So anything we can do to raise awareness about it.
Yeah, my character is not anything like James T. Kirk. She's very real. She is very flawed, very messed up in the head, and she's been given this opportunity, albeit she's not really too happy about it, but she's doing it anyway because it's either do this or get canned, lady. You're going to take this ship with you, like. Oh, okay. Well, I'm
well,
messed
when you
up
put
in
it,
the head.
yeah, when you put it that way, yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't want to lose my 401k, so I'll go for it. But yeah, she's got problems. She's human. I didn't want her to be one of these bigger than life, gung ho, Captain Kirk type characters.
And the other end of that is we wanted to be one of these, I chipped my nail and I fell and twisted my ankle kind of women.
Oh, right. Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to make her, my own character.
We're trying to make her human.
Yeah, well, but I'm trying to make her kind of like a cross between Janeway and Ripley from Aliens.
Cool.
Somewhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying. We're going to be doing our.
I was going to say, quite frankly,
sorry,
it's refreshing to have the women take the action hero role, and most recently you've seen Scarlett Johansson.
I want to ask Jody: did she see the latest Wonder Woman movie? And if she did, what did she think?
Oh my God, yes, and oh my God, wow! It was phenomenal. Gal Gadot is amazing. I mean, that whole movie blew my mind. She's such a wonderful character.
She is Wonder Woman.
She is Wonder Woman, yeah. And I tried to drag my daughter with me to see it. And I don't like those superhero movies. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a really good movie. Story. Yeah. I was like, all right, fine. Go ahead, be that way. But yeah, it's a great role model. I mean, I grew up watching Linda Carter.
Oh,
me too.
And
so did my dad.
I was real.
For an entirely different.
Yes, entirely different reason.
I don't know. What are they? Story is it going to be cheesy, hokey? But no, it was a really good story, very realistic. And it wasn't. They made her, human. They made her like with problems and issues and.
Well, as human as a demi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She was very confident for not knowing what was going on most of the time. That's what I liked.
I know, right? But I liked her sense of naivete. She's just so good-hearted and sweet and determined, and she was just.
And
hey, I'm going to do this.
It's really cool combination of tough yet nurturing, all at the same time.
Which is the way a mother should be.
And when the mama bear comes out, she picks up a tank and throws it. Wow. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I enjoyed it because it really showed you the backstory of her being a child and then being brought up. And so I enjoyed that part of the angle. And then, it was kind of like the second half of the movie is her going to World War II to help out. And so I gave it an A+. I think it was way overdue because there have been many times where they thought about making a Wonder Woman movie. And there was the TV show that got canceled, which was kind of sad about that. But I think that it goes to show you that, you do a movie right like Wonder Woman, people are going to come and go see it, and they're going to enjoy it.
It happened when it was supposed to happen, and it's nice to see women be put in their roles now. I think it's great,
In Sweepers Strong, we've got several strong female characters as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to continue to support that as much as we can. Strong, female, can-do kind of characters.
Yeah.
Well, I've often said if you put that on the screen and
Do it right,
the storytelling's right, it's going to sell. I mean, there's a need for that, and this, just in general. And I think that I think you're on the right track with your programming, and with this Wonder Woman movie, it goes to show you that if you kind of like the Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come, kind of thing.
That's the case. I really do.
That's what we're shooting for.
That's what we're shooting for, and I'm hoping that we, it'd be nice if we got a little attention and someone said, guys, this is pretty cool. We'd like to pick it up and get behind it. And if that happened, I'd freak out. I really would. That would be amazing.
Well, if we win the Powerball, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, Hulu's following us on Twitter, so I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, but so are... You know how many people they probably follow?
I know. Hulu's follows. Tom Sizemore follows us. Who else follows us?
The Chocolate Rain dude.
Yeah, the Chocolate Rain.
Oh, he follows me, too. I don't know why.
Chocolate Rain.
Chocolate Rain.
So tell us some more about your programming that you got going on.
And where we're going to be able to see it.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's the interesting part. We're of course we're looking at YouTube. I mean, that's a natural go-to.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube or Vimeo.
Or Vimeo, one or the other, or both. We're like I said, we've got some composers to do some original music so that we don't get dinged on YouTube for using music from other. Which is why you and I need to talk later, Spaceboy. Some original stuff. Those are the two that we're looking at right now, and DVD and Blu-ray distribution kind of stuff.
But we're not in it for money. We're not.
You're in it for fun.
With a capital F.
That's right. And money to make productions, to make more money to make more productions.
No. We're doing this for free. Yeah, with a capital F.
Right now we are.
No. If we made money off this, fantastic. I'm not holding my breath.
No, I'm not either. You expect you hope for the best and expect the worst, and then you're never disappointed.
Hey, what else were we doing? And I should know this because I'm one of the producers, but sadly I don't. What else are we doing other than Challenger and
Sweepers? Well, we're still looking at Mother.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Mother.
All these one.
Yeah. Still thinking about doing Mother?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about doing Mother, but with the recasting we've done, that might be difficult to do. I don't know. Okay. Yeah,
we always do Assignment Earth.
Yeah, if things calm down. We've got Assignment Earth on the back burner. We do have that vignette that we put out a while ago.
That's somewhere on our... that did really well. We got nominated for a Fan Film Award.
Oh, wow.
We didn't win it.
We didn't win, but
still,
it doesn't matter.
It brings awareness to the product there.
Well, they screened it at Trek Atlanta. That was pretty cool. It's a little Assignment Earth vignette. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Boredom, and it's just a few minutes of Roberta Lincoln's day. Actually, pretty funny.
And she's getting into it with the little green cube.
Yeah, she's having an argument with the beta cube.
Something about answering the phone, and she ends up knocking it on the floor. I thought that was pretty funny.
How rude. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was Jody playing the Beta 5 cube, by the way.
And said, you stupid son.
So in the next few weeks, we're planning some shooting.
Exterior location
type stuff. There's a scene where where Cage gets picked up by a shuttle and meets her commander, her number one, as it were.
Number one.
And it's kind of a clumsy. He kind of makes a joke of himself in front of her accidentally, and that's a good scene. And there's a scene where Cage is riding a dirt bike and blowing off steam.
Yeah.
Well, no. Again, that's not going to be Jody. We got this kid that has an apparent.
One of my coworkers' kids rides a dirt bike. He does motocross.
And the kid rides like he has nothing to live for.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. So we're going to put him to work to do all the stunt work and stuff, and it's going to be
He's
just
like,
wonderful.
oh boy, cool, yeah, okay, cool.
And I just landed a guy that has a camera drone, and he did some of the most gorgeous photography you ever saw. Oh, did he now?
Yeah.
So now we have 2 drones.
Yeah.
Oh, drones,
my
awesome.
Goodness.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's aerial shots and stuff. So we've now acquired 2 cameras, so we can do a 2,
Well,
and
you
with a
know,
drone, a
don't
3-camera shoot.
Okay, I will talk.
Okay.
But we're going to take advantage of the beautiful Vermont fall foliage and get some really nice outdoor location shoots with that. It's going to be really, really pretty. All the leaf peepers up here are going to go, oh, my goodness, look at all them nice colored leaves.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm looking at one of the interior shots of your set, and it's really impressive. The lights and the production value of it. I mean, it's probably a little bit better than the original series Trek. Looking at it.
Ooh. No, she didn't just say that. Oh.
Stop. Get to the door, Sir Lana. Stop. I have to live with this man. Stop.
Well, I mean, I don't have any terrible regard for the original series Trek. Everything afterward I care for, but I really do. I really do like it. It kind of harkens back to it, but it looks better.
She's saying that you're going to give Jim a big head. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, there's really not much we can do to stop husband ego expansion.
You know what she says to me, Jody, is that she says, "Careful, Icarus, you're getting too close to the sun."
With your wax wings.
Careful, Icarus. I love that.
Yep.
We're going to be doing that very near future. One of the things I'm going to try on, and I'm in the midst of experimenting right now, is I've been building some models of some of our ships, and I'm going to try some practical model photography against a green screen, so that I can take the off our CGI guide just a little bit. And we're going to use some other camera tricks, like the scene where Cage is being picked up by a shuttle. We're going to try to use the model.
Not an Uber, though. Okay.
No, it's not an Uber. It's a lot bigger than an Uber.
Isn't it an Uber?
It's an Uber.
Okay, cool.
So there's this neat camera trick where you set a model in the foreground and line the shot up and put the people in the same shot as the model, so it looks like the model is sitting on the ground right next to them instead of way out in front of them. Old school trick photography.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be doing a bunch of that, and some green screen work with the models, and so I got, over the next couple of weeks, I got a lot of experimental test photography to do to make sure that this is going to work properly. I'd kill for a motion system, but that ain't happening. So I'm going to have to just go old school and just, roll myself toward the model in an office chair. That's going to be the way we're going to dolly in on the model, is in an office chair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, that's...
If
it worked for Better Call Saul.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, hey, look, if Saul can use a wheelchair, I can use an office.
I love that show.
I love it too.
Oh yeah.
Well, hold on. We're at the top of the hour, so let's take our break. When we come back, we can talk a little Better Call Saul. It's
maybe
kind of
Aliens Covenant.
Yes, and all sorts of good stuff. It's kind of a spend the night with Jim and Jody-Bray tonight. So you're tuned into the Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network. So don't touch that dial. we're back, and we were talking with Jim and Jody Bray during the break, and we were talking about Maker Faire, and that'll be coming up in October, where we'll be there as always, supporting Maker Faire, and it's a great place for makers. And when I've discussed about this before, it's more than just robots. It's building different things.
But it's a lot about robots and 3D printing. But there's all kind of technology. There's all kind of. I enjoyed talking to the guy who is still preserving vacuum tube radios and vintage radios. And I mean, and of course it's a lot of VR and cool stuff. It's just cool stuff here in Houston, and it's getting bigger. It's doubled the size this year.
Sounds like something like that. This is our son, Ethan. Ethan, be nice and watch your language.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Ethan. How are you tonight?
Good. I just in the heavy though.
That's all right.
All right, well, go to
So
bed.
is the rest of you with us.
No,
The rest of him is not heavy. What are you doing?
Well, if I tried to pick him up,
sleep is for the weak.
Well, he's too heavy for you.
he's
Well-
too heavy for me.
In this realm.
What does your son think about y'all just up and making all these original productions, or does he support it?
Yes,
Yes,
I think it's awesome what Mom and Dad are doing.
yes, I think it's awesome.
Or is he like, geez, Mom, Dad, you're going to embarrass me?
No, he's very supportive. Both of our kids are. Kaylee's like, she's like, yeah, you Mom and Dad are going off and doing their film thing again. We've tried to involve her in it, but she doesn't care.
She doesn't care. She's busy in cyberland.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of online friends and
Minecraft,
stuff, and Roblox, Minecraft. Yeah, she's jacked right into the Matrix.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to into her neck.
yeah,
Trying to see if I have to have a copay or if that's
yeah, she's practically Johnny Mnemonic at this point. So
Old school.
old school, yeah. see? So
But no, I was saying that Ethan would get into that because he's very interested in old retro gaming and
That was a lot of that there. Mm-hmm.
that's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
he likes 80s and 90s tech. That sounds like fun.
I like how clunky it looks.
Yeah, he likes the clunkiness. Okay.
I don't know how to describe it.
Well, it's the same reason people like steampunk kind of stuff, because of the old-fashioned look and feel of that stuff. I like steampunk.
Oh, I do
What
too.
are the dates? What are the dates of Maker Faire?
It's October 21st and 22nd, and that's a Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Because we were planning on doing that little location shoot sometime in October, but the dates have not been nailed down as of yet.
Well, everything's kind of up in the air right now.
Very up in the air right now.
Yeah, it's very, all right, I bet it is very up in the
yeah.
air. It's kind of guerrilla filmmaking, and when
Right.
you're doing location, you're at the mercy of the weather and that sort of thing. So, hey, the weather report says this weekend is going to be nice. Awesome, let's shoot. So it's like that.
Well, you got the weather, you've got cast. I mean, there's so many different variables I can imagine when you're trying to get a location shot.
Well, the dirt bike scene is Cage is basically running from her PTSD, and she's riding this bike, and it's like she's being chased by the devil, and we literally get into her head and see the nightmare that she's having, and it's a flashback of what happens the same day that she had contacted the Audrey, and the events that lead up to her losing her entire ship and crew, and she's the sole survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got all that
So
survivor's guilt.
yeah, so there's a lot weighing on her, and she drops the bike and goes for a run, and by the end of this nightmare, she's curled up in a ball and crying. It's pretty awful, and it really gives us a glimpse into what a deep feeling person she is, and what a mess she is right now. And then to get a call from the Admiral saying, your ship is ready. I'm sending a shuttle to pick you up. And she's like, sir, I don't think so. I would much rather be working at the academy, teaching classes and tactics.
I'd rather have a desk job, sir.
and he's like, we need good captains, and you're a good captain, and your ship is ready. Shuttle's coming. Pull yourself together. You know, he's one of these guys he's like, suck it up, cupcake. You're a captain. You know, and
I like that very human look at it, because the people in all the Trek series, gosh, they're just so together. They never really had any, and they had these horrific things that happened to them. The only time we really got close was when Picard was made into Locutus, and he had to deal with all that.
What about Benjamin Sisko when he's going through the he's having the hallucinations when he's in the 30s?
Well, he got over it. Because he was the emissary.
But even before that, what about when he was trying to get over the fact of his family or his wife being killed by the Borg, and he felt Picard was...
He was healed. He got healed from that, I think.
I think that he goes through these roller coaster rides.
But not like they're talking about, like just severe, being haunted and to the point where you're ready to change your whole life just to stay safe,
Well... So Cage gets her ship, and they go out on their first mission, and they stumble into this. I don't want to spoil it, but they stumble into this situation, and it's pretty complex. There's a thing. And there's a thing that happens.
There's a thing that happens.
They discover something really amazing. But at the same time, they're kind of trapped in this place, and they have to figure out how to get out of there. And they've discovered something where they're trapped, and they need to figure out how to get that back with them. And they do eventually. Of course, they do, because they're the heroes. And so they return with their prize, and then they're given their big mission, which is to go out and explore the Outer Rim. Which is why we keep going back to that. And so they go on their way, but there's a big uh-oh right at the very end of the episode. I'm not going to say what it is.
Do I know the uh-oh?
Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, you know what it is.
That sucks getting old. She most likely doesn't remember.
You haven't read the bunch, though. There have been some changes.
I don't remember my name half the time.
We've added stuff in. And the thing is, she's got a first officer who got passed over for the captain's chair. And Commander Taggart, and Taggart is not happy about this lady captain, and he's been reading the records of the inquest that they had after her ship and crew were lost, and he's just looking at it all wrong, and he's
chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's that hurt that he didn't get command, and he sees himself as the other captain.
Yeah,
and so she's deal with that on top of everything else.
That name Taggart is very familiar.
Yes,
isn't it? Does that sound familiar? Where have we heard that name?
All I can think of is Tim Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, every time I hear it, I think of Tim Allen. I don't know.
Hey guys,
Quincy Taggart.
Exactly. It's a nod. It's a nod to John Quincy Taggart.
Quincy Taggart.
I adore that movie. Oh my goodness.
I think I've heard that the Galaxy Quest is back on track.
The TV series.
The TV series.
It's yeah. Are you guys excited for the Orville?
Oh yeah, I'm. Well, Sir Lon is kind of, but I'm looking forward to it because
I don't like Seth.
I like the fact that
MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane says that he says it's kind of like they're filling a void that Star Trek has left, and I think that I have no problem with that, and it has people that have been in Trek. It has a lot of Trek influences, and I think it's going to be a success. Just for the simple fact that people they're wanting that right now.
Yeah, that's what they're wanting. They want something hopeful.
I think the Trekkies are more excited about the Orville than Discovery, to be honest.
I'm reading a lot of that too. Yeah,
I'm not going to watch Discovery.
About that issue.
I'm excited to watch Discovery as well, but Marvel just looks more fun to me. I can't help it.
And you don't
Plus,
have
I love stuff.
and you don't have to pay to watch it every week.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I really.
Well, yeah, we got.
Go ahead.
Other than that. Well, I was saying we got the cable bill to pay every week, but other than that, every month rather.
Mm-hmm. Well,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that we've gone a la carte. We got rid of our cable, and so we do the Roku thing, and I just can't see shelling out more money for a service
for one show.
For one show.
Fun show, yeah. But we'll watch the pilot. It's going to be on CBS, and we'll watch it and see.
I will.
And then maybe we can.
I will say that
later,
it looks visually wonderful. I mean, I'm not going to deny they spent a lot of money for production on this, and it looks absolutely fabulous. But I have some reservations about the show itself. But it all comes back to I don't want to spend the extra money per month to watch the one show, off of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan, but I'm not that big. So what I'll probably do is binge the whole thing later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, do that.
Okay. All right. And the production value looks very JJ Trek to me, though, and that kind of bothers me. It doesn't seem to be adherent to that the hardcore fans like to call canon, and people that aren't pleased by that.
We are directing this to the younger
crowd. I
younger
know.
demographic.
I know.
It's about making money. They're a business. They're in business to make money.
I know, and I get that, but still, they couldn't.
I know.
They couldn't, please everybody. It's possible to do.
No.
It just requires a little more work.
Honey, you're talking about Trekkies, okay? You can't see Trekkies. Not all of them.
Well, truckers they're so hardcore, and it's kind of like you can't really pull the wool over their eyes. I mean, they're so ingrained. I mean, they've been with the journey so long that when something like this comes along, it's like I can't buy this. They're not delivering what I want out of Trek. I mean, I guess the consensus has been, let's present Trek in a darker way, and let's put lots of lens flares in there. And
I thought DS9 got pretty dark.
Well, that is true, and it was good storytelling, and it shows in that show and that story arc. And so, it's. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the newer Treks seem to be darker, edgier, compared to that Deep Space Nine, how it was dark and edgy.
Mm-hmm.
Be so dystopian, and that's what's got us old school Trekkies a little disgruntled. I think is that it was never intended to be dystopian. It was supposed to be a hopeful vision of the future.
That was Gene's vision,
which was Gene's vision. And while we're making our show, I continue to ask, what would Gene Roddenberry do?
WWGD.
Yes.
What would Gene do?
What? And I continue to ask myself that with everything that we do. So I try to keep the cadence and beats of our writing in accordance with what Gene would do. We try to look at our stories as discussion pieces, basically, as something that could be something that could make for good something that could make for good water cooler talk the next day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, and I agree with you, Jim, and in the sense that that's what I've always enjoyed about Star Trek is the hopefulness of the future. And Serlano will tell you I'm the optimistic person who looks. I don't give up hope on the future kind of thing, and she usually gives me the eye roll, like, the future is not like that. It's more like aliens, and they're going to be coming over, and they're going to kill us all, and all this stuff that you think is so important. You can kiss it goodbye.
Boy, he loves aliens.
Well, and we've been looking at that in stories, and it starts out as possibly dystopian, but then events lead to a real turnaround, where another race is found that kind of shows the way and kind of lights the path a little bit to a more hopeful future. That's the long-term goal of our storytelling, is to start out with, oh God, this is just going to be another. No, it's not. We're going to get to those hopeful future kind of stories, but we have to put these characters through a crucible so that when they reach that point, it's that much sweeter. And that's the kind of stories we want to tell. We want to inform people. We want to get people thinking and talking. We want to touch on issues that'll get people thinking and talking. We want to talk about things like PTSD, and we want to talk about autism. Autism awareness is really important to us, and there's a number of other issues as well. Women in the workplace, strong women in the workplace, and how they they most definitely have a place in the workplace, and anything the old boys club can do, the women can do just as well, if not better, and we want to cover all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, does the monthly menstrual cycle affect the captain's ability to perform? Does eating all of that chocolate affect wait time, being able to...
Well, Janeway coped with coffee.
Yeah, Cage has got the whole... I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe she's going to go with, I don't know, almond milk. Who knows?
So which came first when you started the writing? Did you say, okay, we want to make sure we cover these issues like you just mentioned? Or did you have the idea and say, okay, we've got this idea, now how do we put these issues as part of the story?
Well, it all started, we were helping Starbase Studios in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And we were just gotten a hold of the old Starship Exeter sets. And they had posted pictures of these sets online. They've been festering away in a pole barn in Texas. Yeah, I'm going way far back, and I can do it very quickly and get us up to today. But so I went out there to help them restore some of these sets, and we got to know them, and they wanted to do something called Ajax, and we helped them get started with that. And they when they met Jody, they saw pictures of Jody. They said, "My God, she looks like Laurel Goodwin," and we want to do a story that has. Laurel Goodwin played J.M. Colt in the original pilot of Star Trek.
Cage. Oh, now I see why.
In the episode "The Cage," yeah. That's why I had. That's another little nod to Star Trek. But Jodie looks like an older version of the girl that played Yeoman Colt. Much. Captain Pike's little red-haired yeoman, and she's super cool. And they said that it was a deal breaker. They had to have Jody, and so we started shooting. And then one thing led to another. It just didn't pan out. And at one point, they were looking for fabric for uniforms, and James Hawley from Star Trek and Voyages contacted us and said, "Guys, I got all kinds of fabric. Come and get it." And since we're just 2 hours away from Ticonderoga, where they were shooting New Voyages, I ran down there quick as I could, and we met them, and we got involved. And yeah, we didn't run, we drove. But stop. So I picked up the fabric and got to know these guys, and we started helping them with their production, and one thing led to another, and Jody and I were looking at, they had some people that everyone was kind of in an area doing one job. And as we got to know these folks, some of them were wanting to stretch a little bit, but they were kind of pigeonholed in one job. And we thought, what if we started our own show and we pulled these people in to do the job they're wanting to do outside of what they're already doing, so that they could stretch a little bit. We thought by doing that, we could help James have a more versatile crew, and we'd get to make some cool Star Trek and have a lot of fun. And that's how Challenger got started. So Challenger was the first script written. Mother was the second one, and we brought a guy in named Brian Cobalt, who'd been working for a number of years with James. And come to find out, the guy's a hell of a writer. and he wrote for Sweepers, and it's an amazing script. And I mean, we've got a 2-season story arc figured out for Sweepers now. So it's huge. I mean, we got huge plans. So it goes all the way back to Challenger and then everything that kind of sprung off of that.
We wanted to have those important issues in there, but I think the production came about before the ideas for autism awareness and PTSD. PTSD was, I think that was probably the most recent one. We've always held autism awareness high on because both of our kids are on the spectrum, so we wanted to portray storylines with people who are on the spectrum, and and see where we could go from that, because there's all kinds of interesting stories there. I mean, one of the crew members on the Challenger was Volk. It was actually Ethan.
Yeah.
Our son. He played a teenage Ethan, and he was perfect. I mean, he was perfect at it. He was awesome.
Yeah, because you look at Vulcans and they all have Asperger's.
Mm-hmm.
So they really do. They're all very Sheldon Cooper.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. Well,
So we thought,
go ahead.
Well, we thought, why not show people that are on the spectrum that are able to function in this universe because of their special abilities to see detail or to think outside the box, and having those innate abilities because of their autism, and being hyper focused or being able to see one thing and one thing only and focus on that, and that's basically what high functioning autism is like. But then there are the triggers and stressors that are the other edge of that sword, and how do they manage day to day, and how can we work that into a story where we can examine that and help people understand what it's about and what it's like to that person. And so we're looking at a number of different stories where we can touch on those things.
Well, let's take it up after our next break here. Everybody, you're listening to Space Boy Universe. Our special guests tonight are Jim and Jody Bray of the Outer Rim, and when we continue, we'll have more fascinating and interesting topics to discuss with them, because they're a hoot, so don't go anywhere.
You are listening to Space Boy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Sir Lana.
Yeah, that is Harmonic Caverns that I wrote for a song for somebody. Who was it I wrote it for?
Gosh, I just can't remember that guy's name.
I don't know either.
Just some random guy that shows up in our
somebody who doesn't
social media and chat.
know how to go into Buc-ee's. But anyway, on the line we have Jim and Jody Bray of the Outer. I was going to say the Outer Limits there for a second. The Outer Rim. So
it's been the Outer Limits lately.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Okay. Well, I was going to get back to, I'll be asking some more questions here about your production because there's some fascinating things I'd like to know how you've tackled them. But in the meantime, because we like you and you're basically, I guess, you're the northern version of us. What did you think? Did you see, and if you did see it, what did you think of Alien Covenant?
You saw it.
I took Ethan to see it. We enjoyed it. The story seemed a little disjointed. I wasn't happy with the ending. I wanted to. I don't know what to tell you. I just wasn't satisfied with the ending. But I think overall, it was a fun sci-fi film. I was entertained. I enjoyed it. I just feel like we're not getting to where we need to go with those stories. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I kind of agree with you that, and I keep telling myself that we're only getting a part of the picture, and the reason why it seems like it's doesn't seem like it's all there is because there's a bigger picture involved, and once I'm waiting for this big payoff is what I'm saying, and so I can agree with you on that.
What were those?
Yeah, what we ended up with was
white ones.
Cliffhanger. It was fun, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some resolution. And it didn't happen. So
you think it was too
I'm hoping that,
bleak of an ending? You're like, oh man.
Yeah. Not spoilerific or anything, but it was a bleak ending that I was very dissatisfied with.
Do you buy into the thing that if you do not see their death scene on screen, that leaves it open for their possibility for them to return?
Yep. Absolutely.
So I wonder about that because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, even though it's been out for a while. But there was somebody in that particular one that you don't see their death, and makes you wonder if that person would be back. So,
what was the white alien called? The white, like the
the Neo
Neomorphs. Those were freakier and scarier looking than the alien we know.
Yeah.
It was
kind of a proto version of the final result we end up with, and I think the reason why you end up with that final result, they showed in a couple of the other alien films, it depends on what the what they gestate inside of.
Mm-hmm.
They take on some DNA of whatever creature they're gestating in, and so they take on some of those properties of the thing they gestate in.
Dude, I don't like that one.
So Jody just looked it up. Isn't it fancy?
Isn't it freakier than the alien?
Well, yeah. If you remember Alien versus Predator, and one gestated in a predator, and they had this weird alien predator hybrid, and so that proves that out right there. And in what was the one that really died in?
Alien 3. I was going to bring that up because it took on properties of a dog because it kind of ran on 4 legs.
The most embarrassing alien movie, 3.
Well, 3 and 4 is a dream.
Never heard so many F-bombs. Crazy.
But yeah, the Neo alien was very creepy, especially when it stood up.
Yeah.
That scene where it stands up and looks at is it David?
Yeah, it's David.
The robot. I was like, I don't like this. It's uncomfortable.
That was just creepy.
It's almost as uncomfortable as the flute scene.
Oh, yeah. Now, in the Outer Rim, we're looking at ship designs like what you see in those films. Just big militaristic hulking kind of ships.
Mm-hmm.
More for
With the
function,
exception of-
not form. Yeah.
Yeah, more function than form, and the Challenger is going to be kind of a combination of form and function. So.
You're working on a model for that, aren't you?
Well, I'm working on the design for it right now with a couple other guys, and they're throwing out drawings. I'm going, nope, nope, nope. You're not going to do that. But the shuttle I'm working on right now is a very boxy looking thing, and again, it feels almost like an aerial Humvee. It's pretty rugged looking. Right down to the paint job, same deal.
Okay, well, I'll get back into your productions. I was curious, so far, what has been your biggest challenge in getting some of your productions made, and how or did you overcome them?
Money and location. Yeah, absolutely right. Money's a big one because you got to buy materials to build sets. You've got to spend money on costumes and all that stuff.
A lot of that stuff's come out of our pocket.
Yeah, a lot of it has come out of our pocket. We have some benefactors that have been very kind and generous.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's always this situation of, okay, here's our budget. What can we accomplish with what we've got? And so yeah, money is always a big issue. It just is.
The only reason we were able to get in at the Opera House was, Jim's done a lot of scenic artwork for for their stage productions there, and he's well known there. He's been doing stuff there for 20, 30 years, and
on and off.
So he kind of called in an IOU and nicely said, "Hey, I've done all this stuff for you guys. Would you mind if I built a giant spaceship on your stage during your winter months when you guys are?" Let me shoot my little thingy, and they were like, yeah, okay, fine. So we were very, very fortunate in getting that. Other than that, we were really scratching our heads going, I don't know, man, who's got a garage big enough we can shoot this thing in, It's tough, tough. But yeah, money and location are the two biggest difficult things for us. But
And so what you end up doing is calling in a lot of favors. And the way I've been kind of paying back is continue to do work for the theater. They just did The King and I helped them get sets built for that, and
did a beautiful job.
And they had a good run, and the show was well received, and all of that, and everyone was happy. And I've got people I don't even know walking up to me going, "You're Jim Bray. You were in charge of the sets for The King and I. That thing was beautiful." And I'm going, "Do I know you?" But thank you. Random strangers for get out of that lately, which is really kind of nice. So I'm enjoying that bit of notoriety, which is pretty darn cool. So I continue to do stuff at the theater. They've got a bunch of one acts that they're going to be doing, and someone's trying to rope Jody and I into them.
So they are?
Yeah, Matthew. He set that play he wants to do that looks like it's a lot of fun. But that's if we have time with everything else going on.
Yeah. So anyway, but we digress.
Yeah, we digress yet again. But yeah, that's it. Money, location.
Well, how do you handle something like as simple as, not really simple, like costuming? Do you get the people involved to volunteer to get their own, or do you just have to put that in the budget?
All of the above. I was looking at what can we do where we can just pull things kind of off the rack instead of having to build costumes from scratch. So I started looking at a design ethic that would make more sense in a real world kind of way. And so the costumes of the fleet officers are basically slacks, a military cut kind of dress shirt with an undershirt, and then it's all about the rank braid and the patches and stuff. Again, that getting those patches made, that costs money. I got a guy out in Vegas, Joe Kresman, costume.com, folks. There, I just threw the plug there, Joseph. You're good. He does beautiful work on patches, and he does amazing costumes.
He's a former costumer for ballet. So he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
he's
at
a
the
great
patch for the UWC on this article from 7 Days TV, or VT, that they did on you and your productions, and it's really, really nice looking. But what's distracting me in that photo is the pack of marbles and the front pocket. So even in the future, do they still smoke?
Yep. No, that's not me. At one point, our director thought one of our people, Audrey, should smoke, and that he sneaks away down into engineering and sneaks a cigarette on occasion.
Who is that?
Yeah, Speedy. Yeah, that one of our characters, Speedy, who's our plucky comic relief in Sweepers, that he would sneak away to engineering for a smoke on occasion. So yeah, that's a close up of Speedy's uniform.
Okay, I didn't see that.
You didn't notice that, did you?
Where's that? I have to go look.
That 7 Days article.
I haven't read the 7 Days article.
Oh, you haven't? 7 Days is a local publication here in Vermont, and they've been following us. Like, what's really cool is the name of the guy that's the reporter.
I was about to say, how fortuitous.
I know, right?
The guy I interviewed you is called Ken Picard.
Yeah, we met down at the sets in Ticonderoga, down at the New Voyages sets. He went down there to do a story, and they were just beside themselves. We've got a Picard on the Enterprise.
I'm sure he must get that all the time with that last name.
Oh, I'm sure. Ken's a great guy too, and he writes some great stories for us and about us, and so he's my go-to for local publicity. One of the really cool things that I forgot to mention too is we've got a number of public access stations around here that are just dying for content, and so I've been talking with them, and they're like, "Yeah, man, throw it at us, and we'll put it on TV." So that's another venue for our show is public access television, and they're kind of hooked into a whole network of stations and studios that they like to share with, and so who knows how far out this will go. So that's something we're pretty excited about too.
Cool. So what do you got over there, Solana?
No, I'm pointing at you.
Okay, why are you pointing at me then?
You need to be pointed at sometimes.
Okay. Never a dull moment in our relationship. So, Jim, let's take a step back into Star Trek. And if you don't want to answer this, I can understand. Axanar. Has your feelings changed in any way about the Axanar and how that all went down with CBS/Paramount?
Well, I'm not mad at CBS or Paramount. They did what they needed to do to protect their intellectual property. You can only poke the bear so much, and then it's going to take a swipe at you, and that's what happened with Axanar.
Mm-hmm.
And all it takes is one guy to ruin it for everybody, and it got ruined real good for everybody.
When you say ruined, or do you mean in reference to the new rules that they've set up for fan productions?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
They will be quick to correct you to say they're guidelines.
Yeah, they'll be quick to correct you to say that they're guidelines. But the thing is, they're rules, and if you step outside of them, you risk getting into trouble. CBS and Paramount are free to choose who they want to pick on and who they don't want to pick on, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at the discretion of them. And if they want to allow you to play in their sandbox, that's up to them. And it always has been that way. But the unspoken rule for the last decade or more had always been, just don't make money, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't make our IP. Go play and have fun. You're keeping the franchise alive, and you're like free advertising, and we really are going to look the other way. But then it took this one guy who started selling coffee and models of the ships that were going to be in his show, and bringing in professional actors, without clearing it through CBS and just doing and then claiming we're better than CBS, and they started poking the bear, and CBS said, all right, okay, and then to raise $1.5 million and have nothing to show for it, and as far as we know, the money's gone. Where did that money go? There are stories of the guy buying car tires for his girlfriend and paying her phone bill, and they bought a lot of sushi, and they spent all kinds of money building a for-profit studio. And that's when the boom came down hard. And so, do I feel the same way? Yeah, I wish he would get a rash in places where he can't scratch, to be quite honest. Seriously. I don't like the man, and there's nothing that could happen at this point that could change my opinion of that. So,
yeah, it is sad because of all the ways everything went down with that. And I guess another thing that kind of made me frustrated out of that was right before I guess what was Star Trek Beyond came out in theaters. You had J.J. Abrams and Lynn talking about, oh yeah, this is going to go out of the courts. It's going to be done with, and we're all going to be a big happy family again. And it didn't quite end that way.
No, not quite. He was trying to create. He was trying to keep things cool because he did have a big film about to come out, and this was really turning over the apple cart for everybody. And I think he was hoping that it could all be swept under the carpet and attention could then be turned back to his production instead of this upstart that was claiming his little fan film, which at one point he was claiming it's not a fan film, it's an independent Star Trek production. That was another thing that got him sued. And then when he was getting sued, he went, we're not an independent film, we're a fan production. So the story kept changing. Mm-hmm. And then the amounts of money changing, and the amount of money he was spending kept changing. And then we find out there were 2 sets of books, and then and just one thing after another like this, and so there were more questions than answers, and it just created such a hog wallow that it ruined it for everybody, because I'm sure CBS was thinking, well, if this guy's doing it, how many of these other productions are doing it? And then when he got pinched, he went straight to, well, if we had guidelines, then we wouldn't be making these mistakes. You don't have guidelines if you would just tell us what we can and can't do. And everyone else has been working along just fine. The one rule was don't make money. And he was making money. He was paying himself a salary, for crying out loud, out of that $1.5 million. So CBS said, oh, you want guidelines? Here you go. And now we have the mess we have. And it's practically impossible to do the things we had planned on doing. This hit us about a week before we were going to fly out to Oklahoma and shoot Challenger. This all dropped. Mm-hmm. I had just received about $2,000 worth of Trek uniforms that I all of a sudden now can't use because they weren't licensed uniforms from a licensed maker. So that's one of the rules. You have to use licensed props and licensed uniforms. And so that set that you like so much was built by selling off those uniforms real quick and taking that money and building a set. So.
So what do you feel is your take of CBS/Paramount over the years when it came to fan productions? I mean, the continuing voyages have seemed to have done well, but I mean, going overall, I mean, and the only reason I bring this part up is because I hate to compare it to Star Wars, who Lucasfilms have always embraced their fan films when it comes to their productions.
Pardon my naivete, but are there Star Wars fan?
Yeah, they're in fact.
I had no idea.
They have conventions, and then they bring in and they show all these different fan films, and they're really quite good. But
oh yeah, they're really. A lot of them.
Do you feel that? And I hate to make it sound like Paramount is like the devil or anything, but it just seems like they don't have the follow through that you see in the only way you can compare Star Trek is with something equal or as great, and that is Star Wars, and it seems like Star Wars has done well by their fans. I just hate to see that the fans are alienated in some way, fashion, or form. What say you on this, Jim?
I think CBS and Paramount are doing themselves a disservice by not embracing their fans in that manner, like Star Wars does. I really do. They tick off a lot of people by behaving the way they do and saying, and doing what they did. But they were left with no choice, really. They were backed in the corner, and they were like an injured animal at that point. And you can't back a Wolverine into the corner; he'll bite you. So that's what happened with Alec Peters, and that's what caused all of this to fall on us, like it did. Some people said, well, all right, we'll live by the guidelines. We can't do anything episodic anymore. We can't do anything longer than 15 minutes. So we'll just knock a few out and then we're done. Continues, I can't speak for them, but it would seem that they got with CBS and struck some kind of deal that, look, we've got X amount, and then we're out. We're done. We only planned on making so many episodes, and then we were going to wrap it up anyway. Let us just finish what we started. And I think they swung a deal. But they ended up having to cut, 2 or 3 episodes out of the lineup they had planned in order to make that work. So we're missing a number of episodes that we could have enjoyed because of everything that happened. So, even the big guys didn't go out and not getting hurt. I think the only guy that was able to make hay was James Cawley, because he got his sets licensed, and now you can go down to Ticonderoga and tour those sets, which are amazing. They're incredible. They are every one of the sets in loving detail. And you can go down there and tour those sets for a price.
Well, in terms of production value, I know that's important to you, but let's say you still wanted to do all your productions, but you didn't have access to maybe some of the materials. I mean, would you just say, well, I guess we'll just have to do it with this type of stuff instead? And what's bringing this up is Spaceboy and I just went to go see Riff Tracks Live, and they did the 5 Doctors. And the production value on that now seems funny to us, especially their quote-unquote special effects. So, you've got these challenges, but you feel like no matter what, you're going to push ahead and get this done?
Well, yeah. When the guidelines dropped and we realized we weren't going to be able to do what we want to do, there was about a month of hand-wringing and gnashing of teeth and all of that. And oh my God, we're doomed. And sat down with the guys and said, what are we going to do? And they said, is there any reason why we can't just build our own universe? So I said, well, let me look at the scripts and see if once we strip them out of all things Trek, let's see if they're still viable stories. And they were. And so he said, screw it. We're going to build our own universe. We're going to start from scratch. And we're going to, so we started having a lot of meetings about what is this universe going to look like, and how will these stories reside in that universe, and all of that kind of stuff. And so yeah, there was a scramble to make it happen, but my mama didn't raise no quitter, so we ran with it.
I'll tell you something about Jim. Jim can make he can make anything from nothing. And if he wants something bad enough, he will use whatever he has at his disposal to make it. It depends on how bad he wants it, and it depends on how integral to the story it is. I mean, if I'm talking about like props or set pieces or things like that. If it's something that's, is this going to make or break the story? Is this something that we really, really, really need? If it's, we have to have it, then Jim will figure it out. He's always done that. He's a master of making something from nothing. Always has been. So, you know, you do what you have to do. Yeah, I know, you're getting a big head. Don't get used to it.
No, you're embarrassing.
But, yeah, you know, it depends. You know, it depends, really. But, yeah, we do, you know, we kit bash and take things from this, that, and the other thing and put it together and go, here, it looks like a spaceship. Yoo-hoo, yeah. Okay. Hey, that's one of our flying saucers. Yeehaw! Oh, my God, let's throw it up in there and take that camera there and shoot at it. And we'll put it on that YouTube.
You know, I'm reminded of the movie Ed Wood, where he, it was kind of a guerrilla avant-garde kind of, you know, we'll film this and quick, the police are coming, you know, we don't have the permit.
I'm reminded of the music video we did for Sigma, what is it?
Sigma 3?
Sigma 3, where, you know, we dressed you up as an alien and made a quote-unquote flying saucer for the video.
Yeah, I got some wood from Hobby Lobby and glued it together with some
LED
lights.
lights, and I liked it.
Yeah.
It's low budget and a little cheesy, but we enjoyed it.
You know, and there's nothing to say that those B movies there's nothing wrong with them. I, you know, watched many of them as a kid. And,
especially Doctor Who.
And especially Doctor Who.
Early
Doctor Who. And it's those sets. It's not it really comes down to, it's not necessarily about the sets, it's about the story. And if the story draws you in, then, you know, that's all that matters. So on that, we're at the top of the hour. So let's take our top of the hour break. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe. I'm Spaceboy. That lady over there is Sir Lana. And Jim and Jody Bray are on the phone. And we will be right back after I pick a song and play it. So we're back, everyone, and I guess Lana is going to put me in the hot seat because
Yeah.
she's got a question for Jody.
Well, I don't know if the two of you watch or have watched any of the more recent Doctor Who episodes, but I was going to get, even if you don't, I want to know what Jody's thought was about the next regeneration of the Doctor is going to be female. I heard that over there.
I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I know a lot of Whovians, they're kind of lukewarm on it. I don't know. You know, it's going to be the first female Doctor. Who knows what's going to happen?
I'll be especially happy if she looks in the mirror and goes, "Still not a ginger." So.
Question's not for you. It's for me.
I'm just throwing down.
Asking you.
Okay, fine then.
God, just sit there. Go make yourself a coffee. God,
But yeah, it's kind of a touchy subject with, like you say, the Whovians, and they made a huge reference to it during the Riff Tracks Live, and everybody in the theater was like, "Ooh!" It was pretty funny. I can't remember what the line was, but there was, oh my God, that was dense with nerd references when they were making fun of it. It just, half of them I didn't even get. They were so niche, but half of the audience in the theater with us was just dying. But that one, it was pretty, it was the lower budget, cheesy 5 Doctors, and one of the Doctors wasn't even in it. So, yeah, it was really the 4.5 Doctors. So, yeah, it was really funny to see. But they brought up the all-female, and I think maybe that is a reflection of, I don't know how long they've had it in their mind to make the next Doctor female. I don't know if this is because of Wonder Woman, and that they saw that people are accepting of it now. I know. Here he goes. Here he goes.
You see, you finally opened up Pandora's box. The thing is that I just don't understand this need to rewrite characters that have been dominantly male, whether it be Doctor Who, whether it be quote unquote maybe James Bond coming up, or whether it be the Ghostbusters. Now you know me.
Let her talk. Let her talk.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Now I was going to say, Solana, you know me very well.
I would think so. I've been married to you long enough.
Yes, it seems like forever. But when it comes to, woman power, I'm all behind it.
Yes, you are. You really are.
And so I am not in the slightest against women being,
taking on roles that were traditionally male.
Yes, exactly.
You embraced Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It was,
you even bought it.
The thing is that they had their chance. When I say they, Harold Ramis and Bill Murray and all of them
they
had a chance.
Done it. Yeah.
They didn't do it.
They didn't get along.
And so, more power for these girls that did it, or women, or I'm not trying to be.
The problem was the writing, not
but I have a problem with taking something that, my idols, which have been, like Doctor Who or...
And that was a controversy. I saw an article that says somebody was upset, some male guy was upset that, if the Doctor is a female, what role models will be left for men? And I'm like, was Doctor Who the only male role model out there ever in the world currently? There are no other male role models? None?
Well,
he was it?
A role model I'm sure there are other role models, but as far as
you care about,
yeah, exactly. So that's my beef.
Go ahead.
I get both points. I think yeah, I think it's awesome that, there are stronger female characters, but I get where he's coming from. It's not the fact that it's woman, being doctor. It's that they're messing with the formula, right?
Oh yeah,
they're messing with the formula. They're taking what someone likes and they're screwing with it. It's like the whole, when they came out with a new Coca-Cola, why are you messing with this? We liked it the way it was, and I get that. That's all well and good. I mean, it's like, do you want a female Indiana Jones? No, because Indiana Jones is a guy. You know,
Mhm.
it's feasible, it's plausible. Sure, you could have a female archaeologist, but Harrison
Croft.
Ford would look pretty silly enough. You know, so I absolutely support it's coming from, and it doesn't have to always be, you know, a female. Personally, I didn't like the female Ghostbusters thing. I was like, why? You know, why? I was hoping that the sequel would be, you know, like the next generation of guys, you know, like their nephews or
Right.
their sons or something, you know. But females, I don't know. I didn't buy it. It was cute. It was fun. I thought Kate, what's her name, was awesome.
Yeah.
And she was insane. I love her to death. But yeah, I get absolutely what you're saying. It doesn't always have to be a female playing a male character, you know, because we're going to get edgy and we're going to get, you know, we're going to do the whole equal rights thing. It's fine and good, but you really should, you know,
Well, it's
pick your battle. Pick
Yeah,
what
there's
it's gonna
places
be,
for
you know?
it, I guess.
but
Yeah.
if you don't do it right, it feels forced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Didn't put enough sugar in my coffee.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, did you stir it?
Yes, I did. I stirred it.
What did you stir? Was it toothpick? Ugh. I'm sorry.
I stirred it with a dirty fork.
Yeah. Well, I would explain it. I'm sorry. I'm
So
curious
I
about
agree with you, Jody, about messing with the formula. I mean, and I guess that's a part of what I'm feeling. But I think that you know, it's kind of like how it ties in with rebooting a show or something. Here's a good example, and I know this is really pulling from the past, but the Beverly Hillbillies. You know, that was a great show back in the 60s, and it was funny and all that stuff. And then you come along, and then Hollywood says, hey, let's put this on the big screen. Instead of you putting something like that on the big screen, why don't you do something different and new instead of rehashing an old tire?
Oh, that's go on now, you know.
Uh-huh.
Hollywood has run out of original ideas. They really have. I
Did we lose them?
No,
Still there?
they're still connected. Oh,
Did it get dropped?
Yes, it did.
Uh-oh. So, Solana, why don't you see if you can...
Call back.
You call back. Maybe Jim got excited with the...
Threw the phone down.
Yeah, threw the phone down because he was just so frustrated trying to get a word in. And, can you hear
You're
us?
back?
Okay, we're back.
We were trying to figure out, did you throw the phone down, Jim, because you were mad, or because she's telling you didn't put enough sugar in that coffee?
I think the hamster got tired or something. I don't know. But what was I just saying? Boy, wow.
I had mentioned...
Oh, yeah, Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Hollywood has not had a small thought. I think the last thing that I saw, as far as movie goes, that I thought was an original idea was Passengers, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm. I bought that, and I thought that was really good, too. I think that Sir Lana and I kind of agree. It would have been nice to see them, like, you know, in their old age. But overall, I thought that was a great movie. I love how they had built the cabin in the middle of the open common area, and so yeah, it's a must go see.
I was more upset by the fact that he got divorced from his wife in real life. So.
Oh yeah. Anna Faris?
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got divorced.
Aw.
You're like, oh, love is dead.
Pratt.
Yeah.
I know.
So, but yeah,
it's because she's not out of work. He's all big and famous right now, and it's created a lot of.
well, and that's funny because before it was like
she was on a hit TV show.
She was the hit in the family before him, and they married, and he was saying stuff like, well, you know, it's not a matter of you know, who's famous or whatever. We love each other, kind of thing.
I'd be fine if you got really famous, as long as you didn't do anything, you know, to cheat on me.
You know,
Pretty shallow.
it is shallow, but in a way, I kind of understand. You know, being with Jim as long as I have, he was a bit of a celebrity around here. You know, a small community, but everybody knew him, knew what he did, and I was there was a time where I kind of felt like I was in his shadow. I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. It was just, hey, there's Jim Bray and there's his wife. But I don't feel that way anymore, because I've matured and gotten older, and I'm me, and I've accepted that, and there you go.
But you also act now, and you're gonna be out there, or you've been out there, so you're gonna have something to contribute.
Yeah.
You had an autograph found after you a while ago, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that guy was nuts. That guy was
nice.
Well.
Wanted your autograph.
Yeah, and he got it, and then I never heard a thank you or anything. But anyway, yeah, that was weird. But no, I kind of understand that. But to base your whole relationship on ego, that's not cool. And in that way, your relationship is doomed to fail. You lift each other up, you support one another, and you're together through failures and successes. I think it's fantastic that that Chris Pratt is as successful as he is. It's not always going to be that way. He's going to become a B-list actor. Hollywood is very fickle. The next big thing will come on and they'll forget about him, or he'll do a bad movie and they'll forget about him. Then what's he going to be? And I feel sorry for him, because to me it sounds like the wife is just,
it was her.
letting her. Oh, it was her idea. Okay.
Yeah, and she admitted that she was feeling like she was in his shadow.
I'm sorry, she's a twit. He's gorgeous, and he's a nice guy. That was her loss. That's her loss. She's stupid. I'm sorry.
I was worried that he had cheated on her or something.
No.
No, he strikes me as a real, stand-up guy.
Well, he's an uber Christian and all of that.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and
not to say that those who are not uber Christians are not.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
His faith is a big deal in his life.
Yeah,
and all of that.
Yeah.
And he takes those marriage vows very seriously.
But
all that I've read.
Yeah, but he knows that the whole Hollywood thing is not the center of his life. He loves his wife, he loves his family, and it's just a shame. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
anyway,
did you see Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Oh my God, yeah.
Were you a little bummed at the end, or did you kind of see that coming?
Yeah, it was sad.
Are you talking about Mary Poppins?
Yeah, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Patience.
Yeah, patience.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah. No, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was just as good, if not better, than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well, I guess it had a sweet message about family and what's important, and I thought Kurt Russell did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was amazing. He was amazing.
Well, he's a pro. He's been doing it for 100 years or so.
Yeah, we were trying. Maybe y'all could answer this question. Do you recall where Kurt Russell's ever played a bad guy other than this movie?
Oh, he has. And I'm trying to think of the film now. He's played a bad guy a couple of times.
Because I was struggling to figure out what movie he could have been a bad guy in.
Snake was an anti-hero.
The Hateful Eight.
Oh, yeah. He was a bad guy in the Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
You ever seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I own it. I should have known better.
Yeah, his films always end in a bloodbath, don't they?
Mm-hmm. I can't think the same guy who did the computer that wore tennis shoes or something like that.
Yeah, he started out as a kid.
Yeah.
Told my son that. I think his head almost exploded.
Okay, and
he's not happy ever since they bought out the Star Wars franchise.
Oh, Disney, yeah.
Then let me ask this question: What would each of y'all's favorite Kurt Russell movie be?
Oh, I love Big Trouble in Little China.
That's probably my favorite one. Big Trouble in Little China. I love him.
That film is just insane.
It is insane.
Yep.
It is. I love that film.
I'm having to go to IMDb now because I can't think of all the movies.
Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. are both a lot of fun.
I haven't seen any of those.
I'm kind of partial to Tombstone.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh,
that's right. I forgot. Yeah,
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, he was terrific in Tombstone.
And Val Kilmer was in that one, and that was pretty. He was pretty good as Doc Holliday.
I need to watch all these movies.
I think that was probably Val Kilmer's best work.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that. Poor Val Kilmer. Have you seen him lately?
Oh yeah, he's puffy.
Yeah, he.
Thing.
Yes, The Thing. He was
The
really
Thing.
good in The Thing.
I liked The Thing.
He was terrific in Stargate.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was in Stargate.
Yeah, Colonel
I'm
O'Neill.
looking at
I love this.
Yep, Colonel O'Neill.
This is our broadcast. 4 people sit around trying to remember Kurt Russell movies.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about the universe. You never know where we're going to go.
Yeah, I was curious. I bet it's on. What now? What, Jody?
They are privileged to be able to do that.
Well, what we're creating here is people are listening to the show and yelling at it, going, "What about this movie? You're not mentioning this. This one's my favorite. How come you didn't mention that?"
Although he was amazing in the cinematic American masterpiece, Captain Ron.
See, the only thing I could talk to you about with Kurt Russell is Overboard, because I've seen it 8 million times.
Yes, that's
and he
a good
wasn't
movie.
quite. He wasn't very nice at the beginning.
He was a jerk.
He made Goldie Hawn think he was his wife, and that was a pretty.
Fell in love.
Yeah, fell in love.
That was a
still
cute
married.
movie.
You talk about Hollywood marriages. You talk about Hollywood marriages. Those two are still together. Him and Goldie Hawn.
They're like the coolest couple in Hollywood.
They've been there
too.
forever.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
I think he recently got his star on the Walk of Fame, and they were both together. Or no, it was her. Wasn't it Goldie Hawn?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, I know that he was given a speech, and he was telling how thankful that Goldie's been in his life, and he can't imagine his life without her, and it was really quite sweet, and
And he witnessed the Phoenix Lights.
Oh yeah,
as a pilot.
Doing an interview with Chris Pratt for the movie. See how we can bring this all back together?
Because we're nerds, and we have no life.
I did not. Wow, I'm looking back at Kurt Russell's filmography. He did a bunch of stuff.
He's done a lot of work.
He was on Love American Style.
Oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Who wasn't though?
It was an episode of Gunsmoke. Wow.
Yeah, he was just a kid in that. I kind of remember that episode.
Oh no, wait, he did an episode of Lost in Space. Wow.
What?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
Yeah.
He is.
That was more my speed.
I can watch just about anything with Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah. He was in an episode of Gilligan's Island. How about that?
Young. He must have been young.
Yeah.
He gets around, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's like, what, 506 now? And give me a break.
Well, he is ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was really cool in Guardians was to see him all young again. That was really neat.
That was funny.
Yeah, they both hair.
Got that fabulous hair.
Oh my God, he had beautiful hair, didn't he? Absolutely.
Of course, the first thing I was screaming about was Dairy Queen.
yeah, Dairy Queen. I get excited about Dairy Queen because we don't have them close by here. I think the closest one's in New York State.
Yeah.
We have them,
We don't get out
but
there.
in Houston, but they're very strange. They're kind of tucked away and hidden down side streets and behind a strip mall where you can't see it. It's very strange.
Or if you go out into the hill country, like the small little towns will have that's their
social center.
Yeah, their social center.
It's the same way in Louisiana.
Yeah. You know what I wish we had down here is White Castle.
That's too Yankee.
But
it's that Yankee food.
You guys don't have Crystals?
No, that's actually towards
Crystals?
Georgia. I worked there as when I was a kid, very young, many years ago.
Well, Bristol's White Castle.
Mm-hmm.
So, stuff, man. Good stuff.
You like
See
White
what else
Castle,
there.
don't you?
So we've
Oh,
gone.
Yeah, Dino mentioned A&W burger places.
Yeah, they have them here. They're usually, aren't they like an A&W with another
Yeah, they're like,
Great American or
it's
something?
like Pizza Hut, Taco Bell's. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah.
Kentucky Fried
Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Chicken and Long John Silver.
What was what we used to call Kentucky Fried Taco Hut?
Yeah, they would slam together in one building, and you'd have Kentucky Fried Taco Hut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep.
I don't suppose.
Well, they're all owned by the.
Yeah. Is it Pepsi that owns them?
Mm-hmm. PepsiCo.
Yeah. And there's a whole conspiracy
maybe.
about them.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, if you go to our Twitter wall, guys, it looks like one of our
faithfuls,
space cadets, Bob, has posted a picture of Kurt Russell on Gilligan's Island and the picture of, I guess it looks like when he was on Gunsmoke, and this is. Well, what's the sci-fi she mentioned? Danger, Will Robinson. Lost in Space. He's posted a still from the black and white Lost in Space episode with, I guess that's a young Kurt Russell with a spear in his hand. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Like Chaka the Monkey Boy.
And there's Kurt. Yeah, and there's Kurt Russell in his little cheetah loincloth.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, Jungle Boy.
Yep,
yeah, he played a character called Jungle Boy.
Yep,
Nice.
there it is.
How did those characters get on that island?
I think it was like.
How did they get on the island?
Yeah.
Was it like Lost before what people knew what Lost was?
I guess it was Lost before Lost was cool.
Yeah, so Gilligan's Island was the precursor to Lost, huh?
Wow, Sir Lana, that's deep. That just blew my mind. Oh my God, yeah, yeah. So okay, let's draw the similarity between Gilligan's Island and Lost.
Well, you've got weird,
the Matthew
inexplicable events and things that show up. Like, how could it be there if it's an island? So,
here's my problem with that Gilligan's Island. First, let me say this: I loved it as a kid, but
your problem with Gilligan's Island
is that the professor could invent like headphones out of coconuts, but he couldn't invent his way off.
A boat or a plane.
He couldn't, himself off the island.
God, if they just had some duct tape. Imagine what he could have done with duct tape.
Could have made it out of coconuts, man. Coconuts are right.
MacGyver when you need it.
Yeah, you got to MacGyver those coconuts, man. Wow. Yeah, I just.
That's the quote of the evening right there. MacGyver those coconuts.
That sounds like a dirty euphemism.
Hey, baby, why don't you MacGyver those, baby?
It's a shame we can't hang out with them in real life, isn't it? I don't suppose either one of you have watched or are watching Rick and Morty on Adult Swim.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I caught 2 episodes on last night, actually. I kind of binged a couple episodes. Oh, my God, that show just gets worse. And I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, it is the darkest animation. I mean, outside of Japanese anime, that is the darkest American animated series I've ever seen. And the only one I can talk to about it is one guy at work and my husband.
And I roped her into this.
He roped me into this.
I'll tell you what, I get so tired of listening to Jim and Ethan imitating Rick and Morty all day. It's like, okay, yeah, find something else to do, guys. Yeah. Morty, I need you to turn into a car, Morty.
Morty, you need to turn into a car. Oh, Rick, I don't know if I can.
They do it pretty good, don't they? But, oh, my gosh.
You know, it's one of those fathers.
Yeah, we bond over Rick and Morty. How cool is that?
Well, I mean, I didn't start watching it when it came on, but, I would see Space Boy, he would watch he would watch the pilot, and I was like, oh, what's that? And I don't know what got me hooked into it, but I was sold. And then it's got this. It's not for everybody because it's very nihilistic. It's like nothing matters. Everything nothing has any purpose.
Yeah.
Why bother? Type of thing.
Existence is pain.
Existence is pain to a me-seeks. But I do think the episode where he turned himself into a pickle, the MarySue.com said that was the heartbreaking, honest take on therapy. That was the most painful thing on television to see.
Susan Sarandon. How did they rope her into that episode?
It's called money.
Yeah, I guess because she doesn't come cheap.
Well, I would think maybe
Nope,
she could be a fan. I don't know. I mean, she's done some freaky stuff.
Could be. Yeah, she's done some weird stuff.
And well, what about Danny Trejo as the Russian guy?
Oh, that was Danny Trejo?
That was Danny Trejo. I love the word he said, where is this pickle? I love the way he said the word pickle.
I'm going to have to watch.
You have to see it. It's just... It's like it's a tribute to all the 80s action films, like, you know, with Kurt Russell and Bruce Willis because of the action scenes. And, you know, it's sort of a tribute to several things, those kind of movies. I think mostly Die Hard, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And in the middle of what he's doing, he moves the plastic bottle from the garbage to the recycling bin. That cracked me up.
Yeah, it's like he's mocking us.
All right,
the last guy you would think would even that sort of thing, you know. And
we're at the bottom of the hour, so hold on tight. This is our last break of the evening. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe. I'm Spaceboy, that's Solana, and we have Jim and Jody Bray from the Outer Rim, and we're going to wrap up this last half hour with definitely some more cool and fascinating facts and more nerd talk, if you will. So don't touch that dial.
You remember the guy smoked
All
his way
right.
through the entire film?
That song is called Electronically Yours. It is by Funk Master, and I hope you've enjoyed it. It's not my original piece, but it is something you can groove and bug out to, as the young kids like to say these days. And on the phone, we still have Jim and Jody Bray. Hi, guys. Are you still there?
That was the kid. Yeah, we're still here.
Good. So we've been, as always, we seem to talk about cool stuff during breaks, and I guess both Jim and Jody are going down to see when the last time they went to Rift Track. So do you remember or recall?
Mothra.
Mothra?
That one was okay.
Yeah, we definitely don't remember Mothra. It was hysterical. That guy smokes his way all the way through the picture.
But I think...
Remember that? The guy was cigarette going all the way through the picture. He was constantly pulling away.
Yeah, we saw Santa Claus Conquers the Martian.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That one.
Yeah, he is Zadora. Oh my God.
My favorite one that they've done was The Room.
Oh yeah, The Room.
The Room was the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Have
gosh.
you seen the trailer for The Disaster Artist?
Yes, we both have, and
Pieces of it, yeah.
and I'm looking forward to going to see that.
I want to see that because it's more like, yeah, I want to see another train wreck.
What a funny story, Mark.
Oh hi, Mark.
Oh hi, Mark. I did not hit her. I did not.
Oh hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And that scene, they show that scene where she's the blonde-haired girl. She's like, "What are you taking? What kind of drugs are you taking? What is wrong with you?"
You're not my freaking mother.
Just over the top, but I really think that one's good. But if you missed Samurai Cop, there's a void in your life you need to fill. And I think you can buy the live one now off rifttracks.com.
And I think Amazon Prime might have it available.
It might just be Rift, but it's not the live version. The live version was just hysterical.
Listeners, if anyone's a fan of 80s action films,
Oh, I know which one you're going to talk about.
Kung Fury.
Mm.
I have seen that. That is
There's
pretty
this
good.
guy, or somewhere over in one of those places. He made, it's a short film. It's maybe 20, 30 minutes long, but it's an absolute rip on these 80s cop action films. Cop kung fu kind of thing, and he travels through time to battle Hitler, who calls himself the Kung Führer, and
Look it up, you guys.
Do yourself a favor, look up Kung Fury. It is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, and it is so spot on. It even ends with a David Hasselhoff song. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's a beautiful piece of parody. It's absolutely brilliant.
You've seen. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
You will not be. Oh my gosh, it's just nuts.
Well,
you find that on YouTube.
This is the point where it's really important for you to get out how people can access you, keep up with you, and then ultimately be able to find out when these productions will get released to the wider world.
Well, the website is exploretheouterrim.com. And it's a little disjointed now because there are people listed there that are no longer with the production. And things are kind of under reconstruction right now because the guidelines really did shake our world. But if you want things that are a little more recent and topical, Facebook, Explore the Outer Rim.
And we are also on Twitter.
And we're on Twitter and Pinterest and, just think of a platform, that's where we're at. We're more than like, if you don't search right and you just say Outer Rim, you're going to get some Star Wars kind of stuff. Typically, your Explore the Outer Rim should bring you right to us.
Okay, I'm putting that info out there for our chat people.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, am I forgetting anything? That's about it. It's pretty simple.
It's either on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Pinterest.
Oh, jeez.
LinkedIn and Tumblr.
All of it.
And Reddit.
Our web guy, Scott J. Smith, is just brilliant with getting us out there, and he is our guru, and he does an absolutely splendid job, and he keeps us on task where presence is concerned and where traffic is concerned. So we're really good there. So yeah, check us out. In fact, I gotta start doing like a weekly blog, I think, as well.
You should.
I need to, so I can pull up to speed on what's happening.
And if Scott's listening right now, he's going, yes.
He's going, yes, you too. We also go to our website and sign up for the newsletter as well, because there is lots of good stuff in our newsletters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So now that we've got our casting issues pretty much taken care of, we got one more guy we need to cast, but that's pretty much a fait accompli at this point. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that. He's pretty much a shoe-in, but I want to hear him read with you and, check the chemistry, as it were. But anyway, that's stuff you don't need to worry about. But yeah, there's lots of exciting stuff coming up. I've got these models I'm working on. I guess I could start posting some of that stuff on our public Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. Love to see progress and what's going on.
Content.
Yeah, stick it on Instagram and.
Yep. And I'm going to be shooting some test footage over the next week of some of the models and such. So.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if we can't throw some of that up there too. It's basically going to look like a model against a green screen, but it'll give you an idea of what we're up to.
Sure.
There.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to get back to shooting again. So.
Yeah, I got to lose weight.
And Joey's got to lose weight again.
Well, nobody wants to see an old, fat, frumpy captain, so I'm working on it.
I didn't think about that as a challenge you got to look at for production is, your physical readiness.
Yeah, I'm not a spring chicken. It's going to be interesting to see some 50-year-old broads riding around on a little dirt bike. That should be interesting.
I don't know.
I can't get it out of thinking. My God. Riding my lumbago. Oh, my God. Yeah.
That's okay. Noah's going to make you look awesome.
Yeah. But Noah's this little itty-bitty kid, so this ought to be interesting.
Well, that's another reason why we're holding off. We're hoping he gets in one more growth spurt before we shoot.
Oh, my God. I'm going to have to look that up now. What do you want, Kat?
Yeah, because if he doesn't, it's going to be one of those cases of, well, she increased in size when they went in for the close-up. So it's kind of tricky.
Well, are you going, when this is all kind of said and done, Jim, are you going to write your memoirs about doing all these productions? And
Lord knows I could write a book.
That's what I was going to ask. It's like, had you thought about writing?
Because out of the stories that we've heard from you guys, it seems like you have enough content to have a book. If
I write a book, the title will be "Surviving Bad Management."
You laugh, but that sounds like it'd be a great title.
Actually, it's a book I've been kicking around for a while in the back of my head. I took a few side college courses, and it was a paper that I wrote, and I thought, I could turn this into a book. And the professor agreed when she read the papers. Yeah, you need to novelize this. 'cause this is just a couple of chapters, and now I want to hear the rest of the story. So, So, yeah, Surviving Bad Management. Look for that in the next couple of years. I really need to sit down and write it.
You do.
Okay, they do the riff track thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, she's looking at riff track stuff still.
That's cool.
See what you guys do. See what you did. Look what you started. Shame on you.
Riff track stuff. Okay, so the whole riff track thing is I still have to play. I have to download the riff track thing and then watch the movie, right? That I don't like.
She's the expert.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's if they don't provide the
movie.
If it's like say you want to see a riff of Inception, well, you got to go get Inception. Like you got to go rent it, buy it, stick a DVD in. And then you could put a device now on your phone. They have an app for the phone, and you purchase the MP3, and that app will sync it to the movie by listening. So I haven't tried that yet, but see, my thing is buying the shorts, which is a complete video on demand. You just spend 99 cents for a short, and that's where I get most of my entertainment. And then you can buy a lot of their stuff, like the really low-budget B movies no one's ever heard of. Those are videos on demand where the riff is already in there. You're like, you spend $10 or $13.
But it's usually the newer movies that they have the MP3 where you sync it up.
They can't unfortunately, the best one they've ever done, they can never sell it because it was Riff Track's live Starship Troopers, and that was. I think I cramped. I was laughing so hard at that one, and never see it again. So. That's the shame.
Oh, see that. That's a shame.
I was going to tell.
I'm sure, Lana. Love the shorts. I love when they do the shorts because those things are just hysterical. And when they used to do it on MSP3K, they were like, "We're going to short." And I go, "Oh boy."
Yeah, I get those. I got the one a while back called "Setting Up a Room." It was an old educational short about setting up a kindergarten room, and the I think it was Kevin Murphy says, well, at least it's not setting up the room, and then he went, oh, hi, Mark, and that's before I knew what that was.
My favorite one is the hygiene short.
Oh yeah,
the one where the kid is just scrubbing up in the morning and putting on his shirt and his slacks and all of that. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but
they've done several of those.
Elementary school, and it's just hilarious.
Oh, they had the summer shorts party back in June, and we went to that one. You can actually buy that one now, the Riff Tracks Live Summer Shorts Beach Party, and they had TV's Frank and Trace Bellew come on.
Frank was funny.
Oh my gosh, they were in fit form doing their short that they riffed, and it was an old black and white about this girl who didn't get any dates, and then so she didn't want to go out on a Saturday night. So how Kay can get more dates. So, but what I've discovered is on Riff Tracks, you got to go to their site and look around. Is Mike Nelson's wife Bridget and Mary Jo Pell, who was she was the Dr. Forrester's mom on Mystery Science Theater. They have riffs of shorts that you can buy, and they're so good. And Jody, you've got to see the one they did about, when we were young, they would take us into another room or the gymnasium and show us that, your menstruation. Yeah, you've got to see that one. It is absolutely hysterical, and they're so funny at it, the two of them.
Anyway, send me a link to that. Can you find it and send it a link to me?
I've logged in. See, there's one called The Maturing Woman. They do. You'd love that, Jody. Home of the Future. That one's great. Let's see if I can find it. Campbell's Magic Chef. That one's very degrading to women. It's because it's old.
There was that one where they did Norman.
Yeah, Norman. Marriage is a partnership where the woman just gets stomped on. The Snob, the Prom. Here it is, Jody. You need this one. Naturally a Girl, which talks about what your period is and everything. That's the one you need to see.
God, no.
You know what I used to love about that is when you'd come back to the classroom with your little brown paper bag, all the boys were like, I want a bag.
No, you don't.
What's in the bag?
No,
I didn't get a bag.
No, you don't want to know what's in the bag.
Do I send this to you like a private message on Twitter, or is that going to freak out your social media person?
When?
Ask me a question.
I'm going to say, when we're done here, let's, Facebook friend each other, shall we? And then we can communicate.
Okay.
Anyway.
I also was going to tell Jody. I was also going to tell Jody is I had some time to kill, and I was by myself in a Barnes and Noble because they still exist, and I want to go in there while they still exist. And I saw a book on sale, a hardback book, for $8, and I wanted to know if she wanted me to get it to her. It's called Living Successfully with Screwed Up People.
Surviving bad management. Oh my! Wow.
I could have used.
Thank you.
I could have used that book this week. Actually, gee whiz.
Wow, that would be That's very sweet of you. I'm. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
They had a lot of cool stuff in there that weren't books. Yeah, if you friend me on Facebook, you can scroll back and see all that stuff. I took a bunch of photos in there. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is cool.
Under Solana?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's my real name, but
I tell you what.
I think you can find it.
Hold on, everybody. I know this is a little unorthodox, but let's do this. Everyone, this has been Spaceboy Universe. I've been Spaceboy. That's been Solana. And with us tonight, we've had Jim and Jody-Bray. Jim and Jody-Bray, just say goodnight, but stay there.
Good night, but stay there.
Okay, good night, but stay there.
Great, you're awesome. Anyway, say goodnight, Solana.
Yes.
Good night.
Oh, last week. Okay.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Sir Lana. Executive producer is Sir Lana. Social media producer is Dennis Koch. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Mark S, and Bob N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Sir Lana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.